we are.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Elle.
And we both love soup. All right. So I had the fun activity today of getting my yearly mammogram. And
Fun. Actually, this year, not so bad.
This year, not so bad, because I consciously made the decision to not go to get my boobs smushed mercilessly between two cold plates painfully. And even though my insurance company doesn't cover it, I chose to pay out of pocket using HSA dollars. So I guess not 100% out of pocket. And went and had a breast ultrasound.
And how much did that cost?
$295.
Oh, that's not bad.
I thought it was going to be more. I don't know why I had in my head it was going to be $3 something. But it was
worth it.
Yeah, so worth it. It's a company called HerScan is who I happen to use. And they go around mobily. This one happened to set up in a hotel. And you registered. And then they just showed up today, paid the money, filled out some forms, in and out in about 30 minutes. And it was no squish. It was basically just a full-on ultrasound. The tech does it. It goes to the radiologist reads it. You get a copy of it so the doctor can put it in their file for you. And I will never do this any other way. It was ridiculously comfortable. I just felt like it had to be more thorough. She was doing the lymph nodes. She got the
what's
wand.
crazy? Okay, so if you have something on your boob and a mammogram catches it, the next step
is ultrasound.
Is an ultrasound. So why do they do mammograms anymore? It's the dumbest thing ever. Why not just do an ultrasound?
Your insurance company
makes
dense breast tissue?
I have dense breast.
But before she can go straight to the ultrasound, they make her fail her regular mammogram.
Every effing year. Every year I have to go through the squish before I do the ultrasound. But they always also make me do the ultrasound because they can't see anything on the mammogram, which is so stupid. Like, you're going to pay for both. Why?
Yes.
And so this year I am going to talk to my doctor, and if the insurance company won't let me just do the ultrasound and not the mammogram, I'm going to do the same thing and bypass the
$295, peace of mind.
Totally
I
worth
felt
it.
like it was more comprehensive. Like I said, with the wand, they not only did the breast tissue, but they did under my arms and my lymph nodes. They went up as high as in my neck area and all. It just felt way more complete. And other than getting slimed with lotion all over your chest,
Who cares? It's worth it. Especially, I don't have very big boobs, and supposedly they do say that if you don't have a lot of boob, it's actually even more painful. As painful as it is for you to do a mammogram, it's even worse for those of us that have no boobs, because they have to pull muscle in there too, and they're basically trying to pull enough boob to get a picture.
But normally I would have been super, super crabby having had that, and instead I'm like, that was such a great decision that I made to do that, and I recommend for anybody.
Worth the money.
Don't skirt your yearly screenings, and just pay the couple $100. It is an investment in yourself, and just do it.
Yeah.
Google ultrasound breast scanning to find, but like I said, HerScan is a national company that does it.
Yep.
So,
excuse me.
And the other not so fun thing that we both did this week is our taxes.
I was just complaining about the fact that I'm totally broke right now, because for one, business has not been great, and two, I had to pay my business taxes. I had to contribute to my 401k. I had to transfer money from my personal account to my business account. So now that one's dry. I am just broke right now. It's really a bummer.
Yeah, and just seeing as you're entering, I do my own taxes, which your TurboTax, have done it for years. My husband has his business taxes through his accountant and what have you, but you see just the total amount you wind up paying, and I can't help but just get salty because it's such a large amount of money.
It's so much money.
And then I'm around people, and either they're lying through their teeth or what, who pay so much less and just seem to have so much more.
Well, I just remember that Warren Buffett line where he said, I pay less in taxes than my secretary. And that is what's wrong with the U.S. today, there. That line, that a multi-millionaire. Billionaire, thank you. I was going to say billionaire. pays less in taxes than somebody that makes, $100,000 a year, a couple $100,000 a year. It's this middle class. We are getting absolutely screwed.
Yeah.
And it just sucks.
So it's depressing, and the goal is always to break even or owe a little bit, because otherwise you've given the IRS a free loan. But ouch, when you have to come back to the trough after having so much taken out over the year, and then like you said, you just had to true up and pay even more.
Yeah.
And it's like
It sucks. Yeah, it sucks.
just one giant.
I do. I feel like I just pay and pay and pay, and I don't have anything to show for it. It's really sad.
And then like my husband with his 2 little businesses, and then he gets the K1s, and because it's K1 income, we pay taxes on it now, but because he's not drawing on them, I get no benefit from that. And since I'm the big contributor with the W-2 income, I'm the one actually paying for it. And so I was telling him, screw you, I want to take you off my taxes, because then I would actually get a refund if I weren't bolstering and paying his K1 stuff. But it's
Right.
not how
I did.
it
I
works.
worked my taxes out so that they're totally separate, and I am paying taxes on my income, almost all of it. So therefore I shouldn't have to pay anymore, but I am.
But we do.
At least I did on my business. I'm hoping I have the same person who does my business do my personals, and I'm hoping when she gets back to me that I better be breaking even. If I have to pay more on my personal taxes, I will be freaking
We're going to have a
pissed off.
very, very crabby
We're going to need a
elf.
lot more cocktails.
Yes.
Stat.
So yeah, taxes have us pretty bummed.
Salty. I'm salty.
And then we did do another escape room recently, and we failed.
Ah, it was such a bummer.
Yeah, we
We
failed.
haven't failed one in a long time.
And we
that
knew
was-
this was a hard level one. They had told us going into it was a hard level one, but we probably need an extra 15 minutes
Yeah. Yeah.
at least on that.
was
It was a good room.
it was a
wasn't
good
that
room.
it was a what the heck are you
I
guys
would
doing
argue
here?
the biggest problem, there was a ton of puzzles, and it wasn't where you could work on this puzzle over here. 2 people could work on this puzzle and 2 people could work on this puzzle. It was like, you have to finish this one before you move on to the next one and the next one and the next one. So it was tricky for the 4 of us to kind of, normally we can work a room better, and we weren't able to work the room very well. So.
Yeah. So we signed up to do another one of that company's rooms in a few weeks. So hopefully we'll go into it with a little more vim and vigor. But that's the first escape room we've outright failed in since the cruise.
Oh,
one.
and then we did another one. We actually did.
We did Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo. That one was fun.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo was.
That was more of a lighthearted,
It was.
easy one. And then I accidentally triggered.
She broke one of the.
I broke one of the things, and I didn't realize that I broke it. We skipped a whole puzzle because I leaned on the thing.
There was 3 puzzles we skipped for that.
Oh,
she
geez.
tapped on the trap door, and it opened, and we
it
got
should
the
not have-
pieces.
it should not have
And you should
opened.
have done 3 other things to get the trap door to open. So I kind of blame the mechanism, because I don't think you banged on it.
It was not my fault. It wasn't like I was trying. I didn't even realize there was a trapdoor, so it wasn't like, oh, that looks like a trapdoor. I'm going to tap it until it collapses. No, I literally put my hand on it,
And it
triggered. And I thought, oh, maybe that's what I was supposed to do.
It was a new room. They had some quirks they need to work out. Like they had the Daphne voice going in the background was driving us nuts. Everyone else
was like, shut up, Daphne.
Yeah, we wanted
Come on,
Daphne to shut up. Which I guess
Yes, it was very
in
annoying.
real Scooby-Doo, that's kind of the
Yeah, it's
vibe too. Shut up, Daphne. So
true.
yeah, a couple of little failures there
But yeah.
that we've had. But anyway.
All right. What's today's?
So today's topic, after we say or talk about feeling poor.
Are we going to talk
and-
about the real estate or?
Well, maybe we should, because that kind of impacts your overall
Yeah,
income.
That's true. Yeah. So what I do for a living is marketing for real estate agents. I essentially have my own company, and I have work with about 150 different agents in mostly San Diego County, and so I am dependent on the real estate market. Now, could I go and find clients elsewhere? Yes, I could. But there are gazillion realtors, and I do know what I'm doing with them because I used to have my real estate license. So it's kind of easy money, so to speak, because real estate agents have been making money hand over foot for the last 4
Yeah,
years,
they're
5 years.
printing money, especially here in the California real estate market.
Yeah.
It's probably maybe different in some of the more Midwestern markets.
The
and
median
all.
house price in San Diego County is over $1 million.
And the time
median house price.
up for sale is less than a few days.
Yeah, it's
sometimes for
the
the
median.
right price.
The median time is 10 days.
Yes.
So yeah, things sell super fast within 2 weeks for over $1 million, and $1 million for 3% of $1 million. Do the math for me, will you? It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
And that's they're making this kind of money, easy money. So, and my clients will probably tell you that it's not that easy, but some of them are making a lot of money
without
very
trying.
easily. So I wouldn't say that all of them are.
But this latest ruling from the National Association of Realtors and the lawsuit that came out there is fundamentally changing the way realtors are.
It hasn't yet.
Yeah, the realtors are going to be compensated, and so it's going to shift that market. And I think what they're saying most likely will happen is that all of these lunatic fringe realtors that have joined the party will probably drop off.
Right.
You'll still be left with your core realtors who make more money than God for what they do.
The people that kind of know what they're doing and have been doing it for a long time are going to be fine, I think. It's these, a lot of people got into it because they're like seeing, wow, I only have to sell one deal and I make $30,000. Okay, I could get my real estate license super easy. Very little education involved. Super easy tests that you have to take. I mean, it's easy for
And
some
here,
people.
the amount of marketing you have to do to sell a house is very
minimal. So with very little income and very little education, you could make a fair amount of money. As long as you have, good follow through skills and don't mind talking on the phone, which is why I quit being a real estate agent because I hate talking on the phone. But so it is going to change the way real estate is done, certainly in California, if not the whole country. And this could greatly affect my income, as my income's already kind of suffering because there's just nothing for sale. There is no, which is why things sell so fast, is there's hardly anything for sale. And
people are sitting on 2% and 3% mortgages, and the current mortgage rate, even with the Fed's announcement, they're still in the high sixes.
Yeah. So who would move at this point? It's really tough to get people out of their homes. And yeah, even though what they can sell their houses for is crazy. So
they have to turn around and buy something that's actually crazy.
Yeah. And unless you're leaving California, and which, if you have grandbabies here and family here, you don't want to leave Southern California. So I can understand why people aren't moving, but until people start moving again, the real estate market is kind of stagnant right now.
Well, the crazy thing too is, so my daughter and her fiance they tried to buy an existing house for a good 2 years. They've been looking,
and they kept getting outbid.
Which
is what happens
constantly. A house that would be listed for $620 would wind up going for $680, and it would go all cash to somebody. So they finally decided to just go the new build route. Went with a builder. The builder was offering a buy down even on the mortgage rate, and they went with a new build, and they moved in December.
Beautiful.
And here it is. They moved in December. The marketing materials from that builder that just got emailed to me today. So we're talking 3 months. They've been in the house 4 months. The price of the house, their house on a not as nice lot without solar, is $50,000 more.
Wow.
Now, granted, the neighborhood doesn't have its pool and doesn't have its amenities and everything all put in. That's why at the start of a new build, you get better pricing. But holy cow, that's it's good for them. But how are people affording this?
Yeah, I don't know how anybody can afford to buy a house these days, and especially young people.
Starter home, $620,000.
Miranda and her fiance make pretty good money, for their age. But like, what if you had kids right now? I mean, it's really
or single income,
even harder. Yeah, I don't know how people are buying houses right now.
Well, and then the other thing too is, so the house came with zero landscape in the backyard, not even a blade of grass. It's just a
Dirt.
level pile,
A pile of dirt. Was it even level? I didn't even think it was terribly level.
I guess it was sloping for the drainage.
Oh, okay.
So what we've been looking into is, okay, what do we do with that? And one of our first thoughts was, well, some sort of patio right off the bat for the dogs. And we're like, well, what if we built like a deck here and then maybe some pavers here? So went online to the little TimberTech site, put in the dimensions. We're talking a 10 by 20, nothing fancy. You know, this was just the deck, no pergola on top yet. And got what the cost of materials were. And then, of course, TimberTech reaches out and says, hey, you know, why don't you use a contractor in our area? Well, let's see what the contractor says. So we had a contractor come out. So 10 by 20, basic deck, $37,000.
It's the same thing with my shower. You know, the $28,000 to just redo a shower. It's crazy.
I mean, I couldn't even. I thought I would have a good. I mean, I know building prices and labor.
Yeah, you're
and
much more realistic about this stuff than I am.
And I thought I had a good sense. That just absolutely blew me away. So needless to say, we're going to do this ourselves. But are people paying that? And how are these people who are building decks making more money than I am making?
Well, that's when you break down the hourly wage of these. That's what we did with the shower. It's like, that's like $200 an hour per guy. And it was maybe going to be 2 guys. You know, it's like, that's insane. That's an insane amount of money.
It really is.
They really are making more than we make. You know, it's like, how is that?
But people,
how's that legal?
But people must be paying it because they obviously have enough business elsewhere that they can put out bids like that and drive customers away. So yeah, that one threw me off.
Yeah, you almost want to try to find, instead of like these big companies, you want to find some guy just doing his handymanning on his own. But the problem with that is then you run into liability issues.
Well, yeah, what happened to us 3 years ago, my husband fell prey to someone coming by saying, hey, I'll trim your trees, and our trees need to be trimmed. And we got an outrageous quote from, you know, the bonded insured tree trimming people, and they wanted something like $6,000 to trim a couple of trees on, you know, we're not living on property here. And this guy came and gave, you know, Ed this pretty lowball quote. He shows up with his kid, as can only be called a kid because he was not very old. And while he's cutting the tree, he cuts a branch that winds up impaling his kid. Kid had to go to the hospital. We had to drive him. The pregnant wife comes and is screaming at us. And we were like, absolutely certain this guy was going to be suing us. Like, oh, great. This is good. Fortunately, nothing came of it.
Yeah, thank God.
So I don't know if there was a reason, like he couldn't because he maybe wasn't a citizen. But
they probably knew that if they did, they would never work in the city again because you would have, you know.
Or, like I said, if they weren't citizens,
or if they weren't citizens, which is
But
possible.
that was really scary. And, you know, there's a reason those people unfortunately have to pay for those surety bonds, and it makes things expensive. But just the cost of basic
you do kind of
stuff.
like, you look at the guys hanging out, you know, all that
at the corners,
on the corners looking for work, you know, and you kind of go, well, that would be tempting. I think we actually did that when we put in our landscaping in the backyard because it was mostly just moving mulch and that kind of thing.
Mulch.
But like tree trimming, there is a skill to that. Yeah. There is some skill to these things.
Any electrical where you could burn down your place.
Right. You definitely don't want to skimp on electrical. You don't want to skimp on plumbing, although I guess we kind of did because we had my brother do it. But I mean, he's built his own house. He's not a complete noob when it comes to that kind of stuff. I got a dog groaning under me.
Yeah,
that's not me.
The dogs are deciding to do some WrestleMania here.
Yeah,
come on, boys.
Oh, he's got a toy too. You can't have the squeaker toys.
This week's Bark Box was SpongeBob. So he's got his Gary the snail that he's been loving.
But you guys are huge SpongeBob fans.
Oh,
I don't know SpongeBob that well.
Yes, glowing with health, SpongeBob. So good segue into what our topic for today is. After we're talking about how
broke we are and how little much money we have,
is, you know, there's really kind of 3 stages to life. There's you wanting stuff, acquiring stuff, and then getting rid of stuff. And today we want to talk about some of our more, and I'm air quoting here, extravagant purchases, and were they worth it? Like, would we do it again? And then also, what's on the horizon for us when we finally get some money again that we might be looking to spend some money on? Certainly not the patio. We're going to do that ourselves. So I'm not going to spend $37,000 on the patio.
It's funny. I think I'll help you. In case he was like, no, we won't.
We're not helping with the patio.
He's not volunteering anytime soon.
So I'll start. I have always been, since I was knee high to a grasshopper, a person who
Have you
loves.
ever really been knee high to a grasshopper?
I was born knee high to a grasshopper.
Miss 5'10" over there, 5'11". No, sorry.
But I've always liked cars. So I don't have a lot of other vices, I would say, but my vice has always been cars. And I was fortunate, I guess, to have a father who indulged me in that at a very young
Pretty princess,
age.
I call her all the time. Daddy bought her everything.
So I've always had nice
I'm just bitter
cars.
because Daddy bought me nothing.
2 children versus 7 children.
That's right. Big difference.
Divorcing parents trying to win daughter's love versus
Guilty
parents who stay
Catholics
together. Yes.
with 7 children.
So I've always had pretty nice automobiles, and that throughout my life, then that's where I've spent a lot of money. And
You also love to drive. I hate
love
to
to
drive.
drive.
I hate driving.
like I will just like last Sunday. Oh, you remember we were talking about what we did this weekend? We went for a Sunday drive. We went driving all the way through Duluth and opened up Polly and got her going. I name all my automobiles is another thing. I have since I was little as well. All my cars have had names, and so my two current cars that are mine are Polly
The Porsche.
the Porsche, and Tiberius the Tesla. James Tiberius Kirk, to be exact. But
Star Trek fan.
it's been a while since I did a Trekkie reference. So, but the Tesla, I was an early adopter of Tesla. So
You were.
I've had my Tesla. I've had 2. I started with the
I
Model.
think yours was the first one
S.
I've ever been in.
Yeah.
Not your old one.
A Tabitha.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that was the first one I'd ever been in.
Got Tabitha in 2018. 2018. So pretty early adopter. The other thing I did, which is a little different than some, is I didn't buy my Tesla new from Tesla. I bought a Tesla pre-owned. So Tesla has a used car program. And so I bought Tabitha. She was like a year and a half old. And then I bought Tiberius when I decided I wanted an SUV instead of the sedan. And both of them were not purchased new. So that was sort of my frugal
And you kind of got a screaming deal on both of
frugal
them.
version of buying an expensive thing, because yes, early on Teslas were outrageously expensive.
Yeah.
Over $100,000 is what you now you can get them. They're much more reasonable with the tax credit. They're in the 30s and what have you. But early adopter, and by buying it certified pre-owned from Tesla, I got an extended warranty, and here's the really good thing I got.
She got something that doesn't exist anymore.
Unlimited supercharging for the life of the car. And both
And it
Tabitha and Tiberius
transfers
had-
with the car, right? Or
So-
transfers to you?
Now they're trying to get me to get a new one and entice me, because I'm like, I'm going to drive this car into the ground. It's unlimited supercharging. They're now saying if I were to buy a new one, they'll let me transfer it. But my car's great.
And she's got free. Her car is free, essentially.
Yeah, I
at
get
this
to
point.
go plug it in anywhere.
It's free.
and free.
Yeah.
Very little maintenance because Teslas don't need oil change. The one thing you will spend a lot of money on with a Tesla is they go through tires. My SUV is heavy. The heaviness makes it perform great, but the heaviness wears on tires. So I get new tires, every 18 months. $800 for 4 tires. So that is an expense, but I don't change its oil. I don't have to do really anything else, the software updates. So I will tell you, my Teslas have absolutely been worth it. As much as it seems conspicuous consumption, I think if I were to really crunch the numbers on the math behind it, because I get that free charging, I'm coming out ahead. With gas here in California, over $5, sometimes $6, $7. And I like to drive. I think I've gotten
It is a
money's worth.
really comfortable car. And when the go-in doors initially are kind of a pain in the ass because they hit you in the head all the time.
Gotta
You're always
pay attention.
You have to kind of watch them. You get used to it, and then they're kind of cool and handy. You know.
Especially if you had a car. If I had an infant that I had to move in and out of that car,
Well, even with the dogs, isn't it handy with the dogs?
Dogs just hop right in.
Yeah.
So like my Tesla Model X, it can haul things with it. I totally understand the range and don't what I can get away with on range with
Range anxiety?
range anxiety and things like that. And because I get free charging, I just pop in. Chargers are starting to be everywhere around here. We have 3 whole huge charging banks in Temecula. So I would say Tesla, thumbs up, especially now with the price of the Model 3s and the Model Ys coming down to in the mid 30s. It's I just don't know of any other car out there that really can compete with it from overall drivability.
Right.
The things are amazing. Whatever you think about personally about Elon Musk, damn if he hasn't produced a network of chargers and
You got to give him
a
props for
product.
that. Yep.
So, and then the Porsche's been a family car. I had one when I was younger. I have it back again. It's a vintage one.
No regrets because you didn't buy it.
No regrets. It was.
You didn't pay for it. You did pay to ship it out here.
I did pay
so
to
there's
ship
no
it
regrets
out
on
there,
that. I don't
and
imagine.
maintaining it, and the insurance on it is outrageous because it's a 1995 993. So me and
special.
Kendall Jenner have the same car.
You do not. Do you really?
Yes,
Oh
Kendall
my God.
Jenner has decided that that's a really cool car to have. So
It's kind of a classic.
it is
It's a classic
very
car.
much. And we're keeping her heritage, so I'm not like repainting her or doing anything weird and jerry rigging her. She is stock. She smells like
I call
a
it the time machine because you get in and it smells like a Volkswagen or an old Porsche. It
smells like
those-
1995.
all those cars that we were in when we were in the 90s, and then it only has a CD player. So I gave her, I still
I've
have
got
all my
R.E.M.,
CDs.
Cranberries, Smiths. So I have the music for the
Yes,
CD
gave her all
player.
my 80s CDs to put in her CD changer. And
So she is a time machine. So
yeah.
I take her out sometimes and just she's got a sunroof.
it's fun.
and-
It's kind of our winery car. It's fun to roll out to the wineries in her.
And, she's a six-speed. There's not a lot of manual transmission cars around here. So she's got the millennial anti-theft
Device. What was hilarious is when she first was shipped out here and we were on a hill and Dylan was having a really hard time getting her into first gear, and that was I
Because
had
it
to
had been a
laugh.
long time since I'd driven
Yeah.
stick.
We were
Now
kind of
it's funny. It's
coasting backwards, and I
Yeah.
thought we were gonna hit the car behind us. It was
people
pretty funny.
tailgate you. It's a different experience driving stick, and I'm better at it than my husband even now because I drive her a lot more than he does. But she's got a really short
You don't
first
like her.
gear.
You don't like her to drive.
Him.
You don't
She
drive.
comes back with her stinky
Him
clutch
to drive
because
her.
he drags the clutch more than
Yeah.
I do. But she is a fun Sunday drive.
She's very pretty.
So
She's pretty.
well worth it. I will always have nicer cars. That is one of my extravagant purchases.
Yeah.
So how about you, Elle? What's something you spent more than average on that
I have sort of a shoe. I'm a shoe whore. To bring back our previous
She's a clothes
I'm a
whore and
shoe
she's a shoe whore.
I have three pairs of boots and one pair of shoes. My shoes are Yves Saint Laurent, black patent leather platform heels that
Cruise shoes.
they're my cruise shoes. They were ridiculously expensive, and I'm not even going to say it out loud. If you want to Google how much a Yves Saint Laurent pair of platform high heels, because they still have this, it's a classic shoe that they always carry. They were really stupidly expensive. And we have this
How many times would you say you've worn them?
That's what I was just going to say.
10?
We have this ongoing joke or ongoing thing, like the most expensive thing in your wardrobe is that which you wear the least.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you only spent $10 on it, if you have never worn it, it becomes the more expensive, therefore this
Price
is
per
both
wear.
yes, price per wear. And this is not only the most expensive thing in my wardrobe, it is also probably one of the least worn things I've ever owned. So these are truly ridiculously expensive. I've probably worn them 10 times maybe and I've had them for many years.
Decades,
And
yeah.
I can't part with them because I actually still really like them. And two, I just can't fathom losing the money on them. Like I need to get more wears out of them in order to make
And they're
them.
itty bitty because she's got itty bitty.
Yeah,
feet.
I probably couldn't even resell them that well because I put little pads in them so it covers up the Yves Saint Laurent, and I do have tiny feet. So the other shoes I have are Aquitalia boots, and they are from Nordstrom's. Aquitalia is a Italian boot designer, and I have 3 pairs of Aquitalias, and again, I'm not going to say how much they were. They're quite expensive. And if you want to Google how much Equitalia boots are at Nordstrom's, that's about what I paid.
But you wear those more often than the other ones.
I do. One of the pairs I wear frequently all winter long. They're suede. They're black suede boots. And they're very comfortable. I wear them constantly. I've actually had to have them repaired because the top got a little stretched out. It gets kind of stretched out every 3 years, and I get them fixed. And then the second pair I bought because they weren't leather. They're leather on the bottom, and then they're mostly kind of this woven, I don't know what they're made out of. But they're tight-ish in the toes. And so they're just not as comfortable as the other ones.
You need to stretch them.
I know, I do need to stretch them. So I end up wearing the first pair, which are older, more. And then the third pair is brown. And I don't really wear them because I don't wear that much brown.
No, yeah, your palette is the blues and the grays.
Yeah. And while I could, again, get rid of any one of these pairs of boots, I probably won't. I don't know. I just really like them. So that's my extravagant purchase.
And now another one that we both have. So any regrets about the shoes?
The heels, yes. The second pair of black boots, yes. The brown and the original pair of black boots, probably not. As much as I don't wear the brown boots that often, I still really like them. So yeah.
So one thing that we both have is we have Sleep Number adjustable beds.
Love them. This is my second.
So
my second.
Yeah, I think I got mine a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, roughly. But it was about $10,000.
Right.
Not cheap. And that's the bed and the mechanism and all of that. Ours is a king, but it's not fully split. I think yours is
Ours is fully split. It's
fully
like two
split.
twin beds. So I believe it's a California king split is what it's called. And so interestingly enough, my husband and I sleep very, very separately. We actually have two separate comforters, two separate sheets. And because the beds are split and he sleeps with his up and I sleep with mine down. And so it's like basically sleeping side by side in two twin beds is kind of how we sleep. That's how we roll. But we're not cuddlers. I'm just not, that's never been.
Well, I build the pillow fortress.
Yes.
Even though
don't you have a dog fortress in between
I do.
too?
We let the dog sleep with us. So I've got a dog and a pillow fortress.
I have a cat. I have a cat above my head, but
those I have absolutely no regrets about those.
No regrets on that one.
No regrets about it. I mean, you spend a third of your life in bed, and if you do a lot of Netflix and chilling and all, sometimes it's more than a third of your life in bed. And having the ability to adjust the firmness of the bed. Mine has heated feet area, and then being able to put it in 0G and watch TV. It's amazing.
Our original one was a Sleep Number. It did not adjust up and down. It didn't do the lifty. It was one big bed. That is now in our guest room. That's the thing about these beds is that they're expensive, but they last forever. There's no springs going bad. It doesn't lose its, firmness or anything because it's your number. So it starts to lose its firmness. You pump it back up again.
I know some people call it, it's like you paid that much for an air mattress, but there's more to it than it just.
Definitely more to
Yes, there is air. It is based in air, but there's a lot more structure to it. And I've known people who've bought the knockoffs and they don't have that same level.
We do have this. The one that we have now is a knockoff. So the second one, the first one was an actual Sleep Number. The second one is a knockoff, so to speak. And it's been great. It's, it doesn't have any of the heated feet and the cooling, blah, 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 and all of that stuff. But it's been a great bed. And we've had that since we've moved to this house. So it's been 6 years.
So yeah, no regrets whatsoever.
And I think ours was
spending
only, it was still not cheap. It was like, what'd you say yours was?
10,000?
I think ours was 6. So it wasn't a huge difference, but it was, enough for us because we're cheap. So, like to cut corners when we can.
And then just having good pillows that go and nice bedding. It's like where you spend so much of your time. I
do buy bamboo sheets.
You got to be able to have the Nestivus.
Bamboo sheets. I'm a huge believer with the hot flashes and all the rest of that stuff. The bamboo sheets are are the awesomest.
And then there's ones that are made out of like seaweed too, which are,
really? I've
are
never
pretty
heard of it.
cool ones. Yeah. We're limited. That's the one thing about getting the Flex King that we got.
You are limited by what sheets you can
sheets
get.
I can buy because I have to buy ones that have that little Flexi King thing. So
Right. And we are too,
you
because
just
it
get
is.
two twins.
No,
right?
no, they don't exactly fit.
Oh, it's XL twins.
They're
or something.
chain. They're weird, but they are. It's a split Calking is what it's called, and they are making more and more of them, especially as more and more people have these Sleep Number beds. So, but I did find a bamboo place that sells them, so I like my bamboo sheets.
Well, and then the other thing that I actually just recently pulled the trigger on, that I've actually thought about this for probably a good 7 years, and it is the Love Sack sofa. I know right now the big
Love
trendy
sack, baby, love
sack. They were originally famous for the big giant bean bags. Well, Love Sack then about 7-8 years ago made a sofa, and it's a very modular sofa, and all the pieces are interchangeable, and you can change the covers. And I'm like, oh my god, that thing is so cool. The thing is also very, very, very expensive. And I have animals, and I let my animals on the sofa.
I know. I questioned your logic of buying a very, very expensive couch with two dogs that often stay with you, so 4 dogs total, and 2 cats.
So,
Although your cats aren't scratchers. You don't have scratching
not
cats.
too bad. They tend to go after the
You
other
got toenaily
furniture.
dogs, but not scratching cats.
So our other couch was looking a little jank. It had been one that we, was my mom's cast off leather couch. It was nice. It was
Really
a
nice
Bassett
couch.
flex steel, but the surface was flaking. So I bought covers. I'm like, it is about time I get myself an adult couch here at 56 years old. So
I still don't have
on
an
my
adult couch.
jury duty break, they gave us an hour and 40 minutes. On
You
one
said
of
that
the
was a
things.
really expensive
It was
little break for you.
And I went to the mall, just opened the store, the Lovesac showroom. I'd been shopping online and building my couch, with the virtual couch builder for a while. I'm like, I'm going to go in. I'm going to actually sit on these things again. It's been years, and just kill time. It's right next to the PF Chang's. And I was like their, second day that they were open, and went in there, and I kind of knew what I want, and sat and picked out fabrics. He gave me swatches, and came home.
Because he's your new best friend.
New swatches. The next day I went back on my break, and I'm like, I'm buying it. And he's like, what? I was the first sale for the store, and it just so happened they had their biggest discount of the season, because I've been watching that. Mostly every discount is about 30%. So the couch was originally $10,000. I got it for $7,000. But then I got a bunch of little accoutrements, like the plugs and the little tables for it, and the storage hassocks. It's modular. You can reconfigure it. If anything rips, I can replace it. I am super happy with it. I've only had it for 3 weeks.
You're justifying, but
I
that's
am
okay.
justifying. Yes, I am so happy with my couch purchase. So far.
For now, yeah.
For now. So we'll keep
It's
you
early
posted.
days. Early days
on the couch purchase, but yeah.
Who
and
knows?
then
Maybe it'll be great. I don't know. Yeah. Not that big of a couch
like
person.
already, the one dog came and, visiting dog wiped his ass on it. So we had to, clean that. Cleaned up very, very easily.
Miranda's dog wiped his ass.
We had a
Miranda.
stage 5 clinger that came and then just kind of skidded across. It was on Ed's side of the couch. So I was like, you got
On Ed's side.
You got
there's sides of the couch.
tend
now.
to your side of the couch. It cleaned up quite nicely. I didn't
that's
have
good.
to
At
take
least
the
it
whole
did.
cover off and put it in the one thing about those couches, which is actually kind of funny, for as expensive as they are, the way they are delivered is just in a bunch of boxes.
Yeah, I saw the boxes in the garage.
There is
It was
no
crazy.
way you can get them to come build it. You'd have to hire a TaskRabbit or something. That's just how they roll. And they explain that to you, and they're like, it's relatively easy.
It's like an IKEA. It's like an IKEA furniture,
yeah.
even though it's $6,000 or $10,000.
but Zach
or
and
whatever we paid for
Ed
that.
did it themselves, and Zach did a lot of it. He put all the covers on. And then we had all these boxes to get rid of. That was a chore, breaking those down, and the large item pickup wouldn't do it.
Part of the joy.
Part of the joy of the Lovesac couch.
Lovesac couch.
So I made Zach go to the recycler and drop off all the boxes. But
Get your workout in.
yeah, so far Lovesac couch, I'm giving a thumbs up, but it is quite early on in the purchase. And Ed actually didn't scold me about it. I was expecting him to be like,
He spends a lot of time on that couch.
yes, he does. And then with the heat, that new little integrated heated blanket, that man goes from upstairs to downstairs. So he cannot bitch about that their couch.
No.
So let's see. The other thing that I do more of than you do is spend money on my hair.
I was spending
Yes.
as much money on my hair. And then, so what we both, well, go ahead. Go ahead.
So,
This is all you.
hair.
Hair.
One, I've been going gray since I was in my 20s. I had my kids. I'm one of those people that had gray. I think my daughter's even got some gray coming in there. And I have chosen to not go completely gray. I don't think I would have that beautiful. Some people get these gorgeous silvery locks of gray hair.
You get skunky.
No, it's not a good look. So I have remediated that
We
all
should
my
talk
life.
about that at some point because
Yes.
that's an issue that
That's one where women are throwing down on each other.
Yeah. And I'm fine, whatever you want to do, but like, don't judge us for not going gray naturally. I won't judge you for going gray naturally.
If I have to hear you're not being your authentic
Authentic
self.
self.
Oh, that phrase chaps my hide. It's the moist equivalent for phrases. Seriously.
Or flaccid.
Yes. And it's flaccid.
It's flaccid and moist.
So hair, spend a lot of money and go to get it touched up. And then also I have extensions and you dabbled in them too.
I did.
And extensions make it so easy to do my hair. I've had all different kinds over the years. The current ones I have are just a one row of weft that's in my head. It's only slightly longer than my current hair. Actually, right now, it's probably barely longer than my current hair.
Oh, because yours is shorter than I've ever seen your hair right
Yes,
now.
I had a cut because I'm getting a new set. So my last appointment at the hairdresser was, a move up my row, touch up my grays, and I pre-bought my next weft to be installed before the wedding. So my bill at the hairdresser was $1,000. Yeah.
Did you hear that out there?
Kind of frightening.
Google that one. No.
Yeah, kind of frightening. And that's
Well,
not out of the realm. So you start to
No.
think, oh, she's paying California prices. That's the going rate right now.
Yeah.
If someone wants to get their hair touched up, I mean, you found it too.
That's why I gave up on it. So I had hair extensions years ago. I had the little I don't know what are those called? Those little beads.
Yeah.
And then
K-tips or whatever.
Yeah, and I had those. I got rid of them. Went with shorter hair for a long time, and then when I moved up here, and Dylan kind of guilted me into it. No, I'm kidding. I saw how she's got beautiful long hair, and I have got really thin, crappy hair, and so I was just like, oh, let me put some extensions.
Because you didn't
in.
know for the longest time that I even had extensions.
No, I did not.
When you have a good hairdresser, you don't, unless someone's fondling your head,
Yeah,
they
don't.
won't know that you
won't.
have
Well,
extensions.
so I decided to do the same, and unfortunately, my hair at the time when I got them put in was a little short-ish, and so I kind of said, well, I really just want this in to like thicken it up, and she kind of cut most of the extension portion of off.
yeah, you
So-
wound up with a body extension.
yeah,
not a-
I didn't really love the length I was getting out of it. But it was nice to have for a while. But it was every time, and I had blonde hair at the time, and so it was getting lightened. It was kind of, you get darkened and I get lightened, and then getting the thing moved up and everything else. And it would
$450.
yeah,
right?
$450 every time I went to the
Every 8
hairdresser.
weeks.
Every 8 weeks. And so I finally, after I was not getting what I wanted out of my hair, decided to take them out, and then decided to play with color. I played with color for years too. I've had blue, I've been pink, I've had also lots of
Yeah,
different
when I
colors.
met you, you had pink.
I had pink, yeah. So now I'm kind of a strawberry blonde, redhead-ish. I don't know what it is. So that's kind of what I'm going with
More
now.
Miranda's color.
Yes, exactly. Trying to look more like Miranda. I want her to look more like my daughter. We're sharing her through. Anyway, so I'm debating whether or not I want to go back with extensions. I kind of want a halo. You bought some for Miranda,
Yeah.
and I actually thought our hair was closer in color, and so I was all excited when you bought these halos for Miranda, because I was like, oh, I want to try.
Yeah.
And then I realized, no, Miranda's hair is much darker than
And
mine.
we
so-
actually just got her a nicer one. So the original halo we got her was artificial hair. So you had to take it the way it was. You couldn't recurl it or re-straighten it. And she likes her hair a little straighter. And then she's like, you know what? I like the halo vibe. So then we bought her a real hair halo.
That's
and
what
it
I
just
want.
came. Have you played with it yet at all, Miranda?
No, I didn't bring it up with me on this trip.
Oh.
So, but
Natural.
yeah, excited to see it. And boy, does it blend nice, though. The color is perfect. They sent swatches, and she
do
got
they?
to pick. Yeah.
You're going to have to send me that
I'll send
link.
you
Because
that
I
link.
do, once I'm going next Tuesday before book club, I'm getting recolored. And as soon as I land on a color I like, I haven't landed on a color I like
Yeah.
in a long time. So
I'll send you. So you take a picture of yourself, and then the place will send you 3 swatches that they think are close to what you're to help you color match. And the actual swatches came, and then Miranda picked from that which one, and then it came. And I think the halo we got you, which was moderately thick, was it 16 or 18 inches? Definitely longer than.
18.
yeah, I
you would go
only
to.
want the 16, whatever the shortest length is.
It's like gonna be 250. So
Oh,
it's
so-
not, and then you got it. And you got the fishing wire. And,
Yeah, I mean, I have real hair clip-in extensions. I have lots of those little scrunchies that you get from
what's it
Madison
called?
Braids. Yeah, Madison
Braids.
Braid I have like 3 different colors of scrunchies. I have little clip-in ones. I have so much hair accoutrements that I either don't match my hair anymore, or I just don't.
Yeah.
They're a pain in the butt to use, or
You had
whatever.
the scrunchie on the other day.
I did. That's the only one that kind of matches my hair ish right now. So, yeah, I have spent a lot of money on my hair in the past. I have no idea what this appointment's going to be on Tuesday because I'm not sure if I'm going to have her add color in. I might just have her take color out. I don't know yet. Because I just used my own hair dye because it was getting not so red.
You
The
almost,
red.
yeah, you almost toned it, is what you did.
Yeah, so I bought a cheapy, leave-in red dye toner, and just washed it into my hair, and it turned out pretty good. So I might, and it was like $12 or something. It's a lot cheaper than having her do it. So I might just have her lighten up, and then I'll decide if I want to put
more
more
of
red
it in.
back in again. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing with my hair. I've been having a bad hair life. Basically, people have bad hair days. I'm having a bad hair life.
Hannah Waddington. We want Hannah Waddington hair, right?
I don't want
Just
anybody's hair but
effortless.
mine. Of course, I have the best hair in my family. My sister,
Oh,
it
yeah,
looks
when I
like
saw
she looks like she's balding. Like she
Yeah.
had psoriasis in her scalp and was like losing her
Well, it's
hair.
another one of
and-
those things that plagues women too. For all the other things we have going on, then our hair thins on
Yeah.
top of everything else. It's like,
I've also
what?
lost hair with the whole menopausal hair loss thing. I used to have a little bit more hair. I had thin hair, but like a fair amount of thin hair, and now I just have thin hair.
Yeah,
so.
I take hair vitamins specifically because I'm like, I don't want that to happen on top of everything else. But hair, spend a lot of money on hair. Don't have any regrets other than wish it just wasn't as expensive.
Well, this is what
as it is.
people used to laugh when I'd say, "Oh, I have hair extensions in," and they'd be like, "You do?" I'm like, "Yeah, I spend a lot of money to look this bad," because that's the ongoing joke. That's what finally made me take those extensions out. I was like, I am spending a shit ton of money, and I wear my hair up all the
Yes,
time.
that's the other thing. I never wear
She
my
never
hair up.
wears her hair down or up. She always wears her hair down, and I always wear my hair up. I rarely wear it down. So it was stupid. It's stupid for me to spend a lot of money on my hair, really, because it doesn't. It always looks like shit. It's just one of those things.
Well, I still come back at you with I only wash my hair twice a week.
But I'm a sweater. You are not a sweater. You don't understand what it's like to come back from playing pickleball and your hair is wet with sweat. It's wet.
So you just let it dry.
But then it's crunchy with sweat. You can't. It doesn't work. You don't understand. You don't
I guess
understand
it's
what
'cause
it's
I
like
am
to be
not-
me.
yeah,
You're not
and,
a
like,
sweater.
Miranda's a big sweater, and I know she
Are you with me,
shouts.
sister?
Yes.
Come on.
You wash your hair. You washed it right before the show, right? After you worked out.
I shower twice a day.
Yes. Thank you. And I know
guys,
you're a
that is-
bigger sweater than I am, but I'm a major
No,
sweater.
I shower a lot. I'm not like the Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher where I don't bathe. I do, but I put my hair in a shower cap, and I do not wash my
I
hair.
try that. I do try to like bundle my head up in a turbo towelly, which I do love. The
Yeah.
turbo towelies, little shout out to turbo towelly. But it's still, my hair just looks shitty all the time. It's just like either looks greasy
You're harder
or
on your hair than I know. You want it to be something else, and
sorry.
fighting what it is you want versus what reality is. I know it's probably a thing almost all women.
What I don't know I'm going to do on Tuesday is I keep going back and forth between do I bob it up farther or do I just keep growing it out in the hopes that I might
Now, is
have
Casey
some length?
one of those men that He wants you to have longer hair rather
Not
than
at
shorter.
all. Every time I come back from the salon, he's like, "Why'd you go? Doesn't look any different. I can't tell. What did you have done?" Like, he has the only time he ever said anything about my hair. Normally he's just like, "Yeah, it looks great." The only time he ever said anything about my hair is I went to this really expensive salon in downtown San Diego, and she bleached the shit out of it.
Oh, once you really towhead white.
And it was like super 80s, and it was kind of a shaggy 80s cut. And I came home, and he was like,
Deborah Harry?
You look like your mom," is what he said, because it looked gray. It was so
ouch.
white. He was like, you look like your mom. You look older. I can't think is what he said, but like, yeah, he did not like and he said, keeps
Casey
saying that.
putting his life on the line.
I
with
know.
that
Well,
comment.
he keeps saying that with like, when I talk about the change coloring my hair. Like, I know on Tuesday he's going to be like, "Why are you going? Why your hair looks fine. Why are you doing anything to it?" He doesn't
The
understand.
man who razors his own hair in the backyard.
Yes, he just
bought a Flowbee.
He brought a Flowbee. It's
actually
really
bought a
loud. I
Flowbee.
hate how loud it is.
Did
Yeah,
he? Has he used the Flowbee?
Oh, he's used it several times. He loves his Flowbee. It's huge too. I'm like, we had to find a place to put it in the house because there's no room under the sink in the bathroom or anything for this Flowbee. If you don't know what a Flowbee is, it was like a 90s infomercial thing where it's like a vacuum cleaner attached to a hair cutting device.
And so for those guys who do their crew cuts, it's like sucks it and then vacuums it.
It
up.
sucks it
It
up.
makes it even.
It makes it even. And so he was saying, like, with just the regular trimmers, it doesn't lift it up enough. And so
He was getting a little up. Uneven.
he was getting some uneven spots.
uneven topography.
Yes, exactly.
Well,
And
yeah,
it's-
I don't think Ed's tried the Flowbee yet. He's still doing just the razor himself. But yeah, men can get away with that kind of
get
stuff.
away with that stuff. Yeah.
And yeah, we tried. We don't think they know exactly how much hair really costs.
Because he can cut his hair himself. I mean, I guess when I had long hair and all it took was somebody trimming the backside, I would go to Supercuts or, cut it myself or whatever. But like, it's totally different.
Yeah, it's almost like the less hair you have, the more complicated
It is true. It is true. Shorter haircuts are way more complicated. And blonde, short hair is very, very hard to cut. You cannot just go to Supercuts with blonde because, like, straight hair. Straight hair shows every little wrong cut.
Yeah.
As far as blonde goes. Maybe brunettes are the
And
same
then at our
way,
age, you make a terrible hair mistake. It takes forever to outgrow if it does.
it takes forever for me. It's always taken me forever to grow hair. My hair just does not grow very much. So.
And I know other things that we spend, I wouldn't call them extravagant, but we definitely go high side on some brands of clothes, right? We've talked about Cabby before and how
Love
we
my
like
Cabby.
Cabby is the expensive
And Cabby,
adult
I would
for
say,
animals.
is a super spendy, not super spendy.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
pretty spend-
each top is $120.
Well, or like
roughly.
the blouses are $80 or whatever, but like
No, none of them are under 100 anymore. I
no,
don't think. But
sweaters are over 100.
and then for
pants are
Bicycling
100.
gear, we like the clothing brand Terry. Again, most of those items are pushing $100 for stuff that you can.
I do
you can
find
get
like
on
my
Amazon.
Lululemon skirts for pickleball are my favorite. I do have some
They're
other
the right hemline. That's the thing about
there
the
is
because you get some hemlines and they're just dowdy.
Yes. Yeah. I have a couple of skirts from other brands and you're right. They're I just don't feel quite as cool in them.
See, I like Donna Joe. Now, those aren't super expensive. Those are kind of my version of the Lululemon's.
And I like
Donna Joe one.
Athleta. I have some Athleta tank tops that I really like. And I wouldn't call Athleta super spendy. is
No,
it?
but I mean, compared
Nice.
to Amazon, where you can get these knockoff
Right.
things for $10-15 when you're spending $70 or $80 for an item, you're like, oh.
Right. The Soma, like little bralettes and stuff.
And they're jammies, though.
And they're jammies.
are nice.
Super spendy, but
But
like
close. It adds up.
It adds
That's
up.
why
And
we
I
broke.
wonder why I have no money. Yeah, exactly. And
why
this year, it's so funny. I told myself, I'm like, okay, I don't know what happened to all my money last year. I'm going to be really good this year.
It's March, and you're like, I'm already broke.
And then you had this Cabby party, and I was like, nope, I don't need any clothes. I
You
don't need to
spent
buy any
$400?
clothes. I bought like 4 things. It's like, what's wrong with me? I have a little bit of a problem.
I was say, are you wearing any of them? No, not today.
No. Well, this is.
Is
I
that
think
right,
that's a
Kim?
Cabby. Yeah, but I think I got it at the
outlet.
party. No, the party afterwards. The whatever.
Oh, yeah,
What is this called when we go to that lady's house in Carlsbad?
yeah, the outlet, the Cabby rep sample sale.
Sample sale. The
Oh my
sample
gosh,
sale.
yeah.
This came with a little shrug, like a little thing underneath it. Anyway.
So upcoming big purchases. I know you guys are
We're
thinking
looking
about a
at
new
the Teslas.
car.
We're
You've
looking
got
at the
your
Tesla.
10-year-old minivan is needing to be.
It's not 10. She's not 10.
No, I thought Casey said it was 10.
Oh, yeah, she's 10. I was just going to say.
The COVID years.
2014? That's not 10. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
COVID years.
And the minivan, it's so funny. We don't have kids. We drive. I'm the only one I know that drives a minivan. And it's seen better days. Like the trim's coming off on one side and,
And don't you have something weird that's going on with the... Is it the...
Oh, yeah, the blend actuator. The air conditioning, you get in the car and you turn it, actually just unlocking the door, and it goes tick, 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 this really loud tick, tick, tick noise. And we figured out...
time bomb.
It is it sounds like the bomb is about to explode. And we figured out it is the blend, the air conditioning or heating system blend actuator, and there are 3 of them in the car. There's a driver's side, a passenger side, and then I guess one in the middle. Because we've taken it in and told them this is what it is, and of course it didn't make the noise when you take it in because that's Murphy's Law. But so they said, well, we can't replace it because we don't know which side it is. Now we're pretty damn sure that it is
which side it is.
The driver's side, and we've got an appointment in April, so we're going to get that fixed. But in the meantime, my husband has been pondering. We call him the ponderer. He's been pondering about getting a Tesla for a very long time. He had his name on the list for the truck, but now that the truck is actually out, he thinks it's ugly and he doesn't want it.
And the one they're releasing originally is the most expensive. They're calling it
Right.
the Founders Edition. And, he liked the idea that there was going to be this truck for like in the mid 40s.
Yeah, and
with
it's
really
not-
long range. And it's not,
No.
that's not what's out.
No, so he's looking at used wise, right? Yeah. And
But he wants one with the tow package, which is what's making it hard.
yeah. And he wants the tow package and he wants the extended range and all of that stuff. So, yeah, I would really, really like for him to...
Buy that little work car, right?
I love that. We have a C-Max for his work car. I'm not allowed to drive it because it's his business car. That's a great little vehicle. I would love that. But no, I have to drive the minivan. I had for a while, I had a little Fiat, and I loved.
Yeah, when
my
I met
little
you, you had the Fiat. The Fiat was like, you think of cars that fit your personality, same with pets that fit your person. That Fiat fit your
The
personality.
one
That
before
little-
was even better because it was a convertible. I had a convertible first, and then when you met me, I had the hardtop because the convertible had 0 space, and I was using it to like drive to San
Haul
Diego
stuff.
and haul shit, and it had no space at all in the trunk, and so we got rid of when the lease was up on that one. We got the convertible and then the hardtop, and when the lease is up on that one, I just decided, do I really need this car? No, it's just one more thing. To spend. I'm not a car person. I hate to drive. I really hate. I would rather.
I do most of the drive. I drive
Yes.
Miss Daisy around.
Yes, I am Miss Daisy, and I love being driven.
And I'm a control freak, so I like to drive.
That's right. And you do not like to drive with me driving anyway. Nobody likes to drive with me driving. I'm a very nervous driver in addition to not enjoying driving. I'm not a very good driver. Anyway, so yeah, for me, it's going to be hopefully
You're gonna
a
be a
car.
car, and I think for me, it's probably my next big one since I started bit the bullet on the couch. Is probably gonna be vacation. I have a husband who does not like to vacation. He says to me, "We live in paradise. Our life is a vacation. What do we need a vacation for?" He's quite a different attitude towards sitting around the house. He's able to sit in the house and not see the myriad of things that need to get done. Like, it's like, oh, staycation, great, we'll do this. I'm seeing that, the yard needs, we need to fix that with the fence. That really should be taken care of. He can put a blind eye to all that stuff, and his life is just kind of a general vacation. So he has no desire to do that. So I have often vacationed without him.
It's a little weird.
Yes, it's definitely a little weird, and it's a bone of contention. We have argued pretty heartily about it. Well, this year I just decided in November, because November's birthday month, I went ahead and booked a vacation. So we are booked to go fly to Florida and get on a cruise ship and go to Jamaica.
And we are going in September on an Alaska cruise. on one of celebrities, and you're on one of the new ships too. We're both on the new
they're
ships.
called like the edge ships. So that's unique about them is the balconies are like glass and they kind of fold out, and they're newer ships. They're like only a couple years old, and there's
and they have like, well,
you're
you're in like blue or something, right? So you're
aqua class.
Aqua class. We are. The other thing that's different about these ships is the. Instead of having one main dining room, they have like 6 different restaurants, in addition to specialty dining, which if you've been on a cruise ship, you understand what I mean by that. But they also have like 5 or 6 different restaurants that you can choose from on any given night. And so this was one of the most expensive cruises we've ever done. I don't know.
And you're
about you
doing
guys.
Alaska.
We're doing Alaska.
In September?
September, yeah. And I'm really looking forward to it. My in-laws are actually on the same ship with the same itinerary in another month or so. I know. And so I'm kind of excited to hear from them what they think of this ship and what they think of each restaurant. And we're going to definitely use them as guinea pigs on this trip. But I had wanted to book another vacation. Like, I really want to go to Hawaii. Kauai in particular. I have not been to that island. I've been to, I think, most of the other ones. And I don't think my husband and I have ever been to Hawaii together. We've been there separately.
And so many of our friends go to Hawaii on the
all the
regular.
time, yeah. And so I would really like to go to Hawaii, and so that's a trip I want to do. But this year, kind of out because we do have this expensive cruise. I wanted to book a Europe trip to do possibly biking down the Danube.
Yeah, we looked into doing that.
Yeah, we looked at these. It's not a cruise ship, but it's like one of those riverboat ships, and
nothing fancy.
You bike and the ship repositions. So you bike, I don't know, it's like 30 to 50 miles a day, and then the bike or the ship repositions, and then you eat your meal and you sleep on the ship, and then it repositions. And I have been wanting to do that trip for quite a while, and then COVID hit, and I don't know why we.
And the other thing the boys have said, which we don't necessarily disagree with, which is if you were to blindfold us and drop us into
Germany
or even the countryside of Italy, whatever, would we feel like we're anywhere different
than where
we are now?
Yeah.
Because so much of California is
or just
like
the United States in general.
Yes.
This is what Casey and I went to Germany. And while it was amazing and the castles and the, yada, yada was awesome, we kept thinking you could be anywhere. I could be in Wisconsin right now. You can see why people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Germans in Wisconsin because
it looks like the homeland.
And just things like that. And we live in a very beautiful area. And my husband's argument is if I can drive there, we can drive to Colorado in 2 days, or a day and a half. And if the car doesn't break down. Another
piece
story.
of trim goes flying up.
No,
my car.
We borrowed her car. It broke down. Anyway,
not the Tesla.
No, the
Shanghai,
the van. What was that thing? The Sprinter. Anyway, but yeah, we can drive to Colorado. Colorado's stunning. I mean, it is Switzerland, not really, but it's
Utah,
beautiful.
Garden of the Gods. There's so many things.
There's so many things near us that are beautiful and wonderful.
So that's another thing. Trying to convince our husbands to get on, take the flight and the expense and the time of the flight and the time off of work, just to get somewhere that looks just like
and
what
the
we already have.
Flying is a huge thing. My husband is 6'4". He's very uncomfortable on airplanes in general, and to be on an airplane for 15 hours or however long it takes to get overseas. And then I have all this back problems, and I struggle on the 5-hour flight to my mom sometimes. So it's really hard to think about being on a flight for 14 hours. So
and your in-laws, he will not
fly
transcontinental.
No, he did say I think the last overseas flight he was on is when he came back from Vietnam, and he said I won't ever do it again. And so that's we can't get him on there.
So you can't.
We keep begging him because I would really like to do
like QE2 or something.
No, I'd just like to do the cruise that goes like from London up to Russia, or do that one or into the it's the Norway up the fjords. I'd like to go to the fjordlands, the fjords. Anyway, so there's many vacations I would like to go on. I'd like to go to Thailand. I'd like to go to. I'd love to do Galapagos
Oh,
Islands.
and when you go on the ship, they show you the Galapagos package.
Yeah,
It's like,
and those are those are
20
really expensive trips. Those are
$20,000.
not,
Yeah.
and you do have to.
Damn taxes. If we didn't have to pay our taxes.
Exactly. I
we
just
could do
paid.
that.
I just paid for a cruise basically with my taxes that I just paid. Anyway, so I'd like to spend more money on
I know.
vacationing, but
I've thought
don't.
about running away more as an adult than I ever did as a child.
I know.
Something they don't tell you.
the lotto's up really, really high right now. I'm buying tickets like crazy. I'm like, come on.
I do the auto lotto. I don't know why you don't do the auto lotto.
$960 million.
I'm
Almost
not
$1
greedy.
billion.
I'm not greedy. 10 million.
I always buy
I'll be good.
they call it PMS, Powerball, Super, and Mega Lotto. It's $5 to buy all three. And the reason I always buy is it Mega that's never very. No, Super's never very high because I'm like, I'm not greedy. I'll take that 19 million. I'm fine
I
with
would
that.
be super duper.
Because I think Powerball and Mega are over 600 million. Both of them are way over.
Well, the thing about
millions
the
and
app
millions.
that I use, that
Millions and
Mito
millions.
app, Mito Lotto app, so it automatically does it. And what it does is, like when you go to check your ticket, like I'm doing it. Hey, Rory, you're gonna get kicked out again if you're gonna be doing that. the dog was whining, and then he comes in, and now he's wrestling. But
No
what
wrestling.
it does is when you do check ticket, if you win, it just says winner and it does these little firecrackers. It does that whether you win a free ticket or if you were to win the whole thing. So every time I do the check ticket, I'm like, and I get the little firework, I'm like, for a couple seconds there, oh, never mind. Going
That's
to
why I
work.
don't. You're always like, why don't you do the electronic? I don't want that false joy. I want to look it up. I want to look at the numbers.
977 million
Yeah,
is what it's up to.
it's crazy. That is
And the
crazy.
mega number is my daughter's former soccer number. So who knows? Maybe this could be the biggie.
All right.
that I
Wouldn't that be
went with.
nice?
But, yes.
I always say you got to play because you got to keep the dream alive. Otherwise, I just I got to have that dream.
Every little bit.
Yeah.
Check it before I sign out for work every day.
Yep.
So I think that kind of sums up our big expenditures. Hopefully we have some windfall monies and we can talk
That's
about more
right.
expenditures. But right now, both feeling a little depleted in the wallets.
Yeah.
That's for
And we
sure.
wonder why after going through that list of
Yeah.
expensive shit that
that's
I've bought.
right.
I really haven't bought, other than the cabbie stuff, I haven't bought that much expensive crap in a long time.
But just day-to-day stuff is expensive.
That's what we were talking about. It's like, yeah, going to Costco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting some paper towels and some laundry detergent and some toilet paper.
Eating out in a restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy expensive now. I just bought 2 burritos at
Rubio's?
Wahoo's Fish Tacos, and it was $30
For 2 burritos.
2 burritos.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, insane.
We just need to start.
And one
with-
could argue, then don't eat out.
Yeah, I
But
know.
I've been enjoying eating out
Yeah.
my whole life.
Well,
It's
then
really hard for me not to
eating out
eat
is
out.
kind of a social, like we like riding to a thing,
Right.
and yeah, it's hard to say. Well, I'm
Even
gonna go-
we rode our bikes to eat a donut the other day, and like a Krispy Kreme donut. I want to say
3 donuts were $8.
Yeah, that's insane.
we went when the light was on, and they give you the free one, and then you're almost like, I'm good.
Yeah,
don't
that's
think
all I
I'm gonna
need.
Buy anything? Oh crap! I better buy something.
And then Casey was all pissed because his mom said, "Oh, you were there during like right around St. Patrick's Day. It was like if you wore green, you got $1 off your donut or something like that." And they didn't tell him. He went in and bought the donuts. I did not.
Yeah.
Like I guess you had to say, "I'm wearing green. Give me my donut." But the donuts were green.
Yeah.
Did I tell you he bought me the wrong donut too? I'm so pissed.
Going through the trouble
Come
and doesn't
on.
get
How
the
long
right
have we been
donut.
married? He bought
Yeah.
me the wrong damn donut.
It's like that Cookie Monster meme. You don't even know me.
You don't even know me. I think it could be grounds for divorce,
Oh,
maybe.
exactly.
He got me custard instead of cream. Come on. Really?
So wrong. So wrong.
So wrong. And then Casey was like, "You really hated that, didn't you?" As I'm shoveling it into my face.
It's in protest.
Yes, it's terrible.
I'm eating this in protest.
The cream is running down my face. Yes, it's awful.
Anyway,
Anyway.
donuts. We're sitting there saying, we eat well.
Yes, exactly. Well, I think it's so funny. I actually posted this on one of my bike rides. It was like calories burned 500, calories eaten 350.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a win.
Exactly. I mean, it's still in the positive category, right?
Drink of the show. We didn't went with another one of these craft mix things. I've got to get a little more creative, but this time went with the Paloma. So it's
I do love a Paloma.
The mix, and you do just the sparkling water bag of this little mix. And
had to water it down again.
Yeah, some of them are very sweeter than others. I'm gonna go through it right now. I'm not sure that I would rebuy all the mixes because there's some of those that's like I don't think I would drink that many, but enjoying trying all the different
I feel like I
ones.
would rather. I have like half a thing of grapefruit juice. I should bring over so that we can make Palomas because I do love Palomas. And
Well, I did take
I'm
all
never going
those
to drink.
lemons.
I tried to drink it myself. and
Diane
I'm
gave me
not-
a bushel of lemons. I spent last weekend squeezing all those, so I've got.
How did
we've
I not
been
get
doing
lemons from
I went to
Diane?
her house to pick them up.
Hey.
And I squeezed them all before they went bad, and they were so big they looked like grapefruits,
Oh,
and
really?
they weren't even like lemon colored. Zach was asking me, "What are you squeezing?" I'm like, "They're lemons." I
Are
swear.
they pink lemonade? Pink lemons?
No, but they made some excellent lemonade.
Well, if if you get an excess of lemons, which we do sometimes around here, get like when my mother-in-law's tree is growing, they have a huge lemon tree. You can juice, and then freeze it. That's what I
like
do.
The little guy with the toothpicks.
I
I
do
hanker
it-
for a hunk.
Yes, but I do. I used to do it in the ice cube trays, but now I actually just put it in a jar and then I pull jars out at a time and thaw it out.
I've been doing the lemonade, and it's
That's
been
what I'm.
turning
All I'm
out
drinking these days is lemonade. Maybe that's my gut problems. Perhaps I'm giving myself an ulcer.
good. A little too much citric acid.
Yes.
Soup of the show, pasta fajoule. I'm kind of on the pasta thing. Last show was lasagna soup, pasta fajoule. It's a winner. Again, you can do the fake meat,
That
big noodles.
Spice Shop
elbow.
makes a really good.
Yes, we have a spice shop in town where it's basically
It's
they
called
give you
the
all
Spice
the
Shop.
dry ingredients, and you just
It is really, really good. Just
what's
easy.
it, like $8 for a
Yeah,
bag?
$8 for a bag. You can get onto their website. It's called The Spice Shop in Temecula.
They'll mail them everywhere too.
And they'll mail them, and they make a good gift. They make a really good pea soup, split pea soup. They make the pasta fajoule,
and then
the rice mixes
the
are really
rice, the
good.
apricot. Is it almond apricot?
Persian
The
apricot.
Persian apricot rice.
Yeah, something
Was
like
yum
that.
yum. That actually might be what I crank out for dinner tonight.
Yeah, those are really good and very
Talking
easy,
myself into food.
Very easy to make and very tasty. I do like easy food. Easy
Yes.
food.
And if you can feed
That's
yourself
why
for
top
$8,
ramen is such a winner because it's such an easy thing to make.
so much sodium though.
I
The
know.
man puff up, can't get rings off.
I wonder why I'm puffy all the time.
And then book recommendation. This is an oldie but a goodie. Oldie meaning 7 years old. The Chemist by Stephanie Meyer of the Twilight Zone fame. But
Also,
this book is
another
not vampire.
novelist I really like.
Yeah, not vampire-y.
No.
This one is about a government employee who's basically a interrogator, and she's a chemist, and it's a very intriguing kind of spy-like story. There's a little bit of love interest in there, a little bit of intrigue. It's a good one. It's a long book, but again, I
think it was
listened
that
to
long,
it.
is it?
I think it's about yay big.
Oh.
It's pretty thick.
Not as fat as Twilight, or
Yeah.
fatter than Twilight, but not as fat as Breaking Dawn.
Smaller than a bird box.
Yes,
but,
exactly.
So
Other way
the
around.
Chemist.
I'm getting those two mixed up.
Yeah, Chemist is good. Highly recommend revisiting that one. You can probably get it pretty inexpensively too if you're so inclined to buy the hard copy versions of said book.
I never do. I'm a Kindle reader.
And then song living rent free in my head. You just haven't earned it yet, baby. Speaking of money and extravagant purchases, by the Smiths. Whether you like their politics or not, damn, do they make some good music.
I love the Smiths. And mine was Casey was watching Sahara last night, the movie with what's his name? I can't remember anybody. Anyway, and it was
Who's it, Sahara? I don't know which one that is.
that's the one. It's a Clive Cussler.
oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't even think of that author either. Who wrote the Clive Cussler books? Oh, it's Clive Cussler.
I was gonna
It's
say.
a Dirk Pitt books. He's Dirk Pitt. Anyway, I got that out of my head.
Maybe
right?
too many cocktails.
No, I just can't. My brain doesn't work. Anyway, and the opening scenes of that movie is I was in the right place, but I must have been the wrong time, which is Dr. John. So that's an oldie, but a goodie. And that one was rolling through my head today. So,
That's a good one. That's a good one for sure.
yep.
Alrighty, well, over and out with us. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Elle.
And we both love soup.
That was much better.